Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and not digitally pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with Franchise Hockey Manager 12 on the eve of the release. Jeff, in less than, let's say less than 10 hours from now, Franchise Hockey Manager 12 is scheduled to be released. And so we're back to talk about, well, what exactly do you want to show us tonight?
Well, I think this is going to be kind of free form. There are a few things I wasn't able to show you last week. We figured out what was wrong there, and everything is working properly now, so I can show off stuff like the training. And I think someone asked last week if I was going to do the big list of changes that we do every year. So I've been putting that together in the last couple of hours, and it's about 150 things on there now. But I still think I'm missing a few. So I will be posting that a little later tonight, I think, once I've had one final look over it. But I'm going to go down that and just show you whatever I can in FHM 12, which will be available, should be available at 5, or at least on Steam. Not sure about the fast spring timing. At 5 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, with each 8 Eastern, and I think it's 2 in the afternoon Central European time. So, Adam, where should we start? We're with the Jets. Oh yeah.
I think we should look at the depth chart, obviously, is the first thing to do.
And is that, I think we've got to, oh no, wait, he's going to college. Do we want to interrupt Desmond Strangling Wolf's college experience? Apparently a real guy. He's, I think, playing midget in Alberta right now. Under 18. I'm not supposed to say the M word.
Yeah. How many? Okay, hold on. Before we get there, let's take a look. How many contracts do we have under?
Yeah. So
36 guys under.
Explain first. This is just a test game that I've been running. It's actually not even in the most recent build that I did this, so I think they should be compatible. If you see anything weird, it might be because we just did our final update this afternoon, and I've loaded this old in the sense that it's about 12 hours old, saving it. But this has gone up to 2034. Just out of curiosity, who has... the Oilers are apparently the reigning Cup champions. And wow, Wild won it 3 years in a row in the late 2020s.
I don't like that.
New Jersey, Carolina, I'm sure they beat the Jets somewhere in there. Senators, Hawks won it a couple of times, and the Oilers. And then you can see the one new thing on the screen. I can't remember if I showed you this last week. If you're playing at a larger resolution, we're not wasting all that space anymore. So instead of just the top 3 leaders, you'll get the. I'm getting what is it, 7 here? Yeah, 7. It'll be more if you're at an even bigger resolution than I am, because I'm on kind of a limited one to make it fit right for Twitch streaming.
Fair enough.
And looks like David made it all the way to number 2 behind Gretzky. So where were we? We'll show you the draft again. I think we've made a couple of small changes in that since last week's stream, and I'll show you the training. I think we're not. I think the message pops up on the 5th or is it the day after the draft? It'll tell us when we can start our special off-season or preseason training programs. That's this screen, which I wasn't able to activate last week. Turned out to be a bug that was turning it off after the first season. So that should be okay now. That's fixed. Let me just quickly throw in our annual budget. We're not really going to play this game. Just an excuse to show you what's in it, then we will advance the game. And yeah, like I said, I've got the big list of changes put in. I'm just making sure I've got all the features because I'm assembling it piecemeal from a bunch of I think we're on build is this 18 or 17?
18
this
now.
Is 18. Yeah, this is 18. So I've got 17 bug reports and fix lists I've got to sort of cobble together and then figure out what didn't get mentioned in those and the other stuff that was done.
I thought you were just kind of sitting around, kicking your legs up, pretending pretending to do work and having lots of naps at this time of year.
Oh, a nap would be nice. I'm sure I'll get one at
Uh,
some point, and before Friday.
Boiled Egg says, "Booyah, my wallet is ready."
That's good. Good news.
Bosco 8179 says, "Is there any new settings in custom league creation besides setting start date?" As he is a
That
fan
one,
of.
there was something. I got. Hang on, I'm gonna look at the list. But let's just do this first. We got a couple of trade offers, and they want a minor leaguer, and giving up a guy, 20-year-old that's in the queue. And well, this guy seems to be going nowhere. I'm gonna take it. And trade proposal from Flyers. They want 32-year-old Ian Moore. Oh, we get a draft pick. Is that this draft? Yes, it is. We'll take it.
Excellent.
Okay, there we go. And I fixed some of the debugging text and text that was there. Good. I should mention, yeah, because I'm still playing the beta version. I've got some debugging turned on. We'll get things like the message numbers in here, and just as a guide whenever we see something wrong, it makes it easier to look up and fix. That won't show up if you don't have troubleshooting turned on in a normal game. And I didn't even look to see how the Jets were doing in this. Do you want to know, Adam, or?
I didn't
Oh,
really
come
look
on.
too much at it.
But let's wait. Let me check the fictional stuff. Well, one of the things I know for the fictional or for the custom leagues, it can be the way you can add non-playable leagues to custom games. The Turkish League is eligible for that now, and I haven't really written this in a way where I can see exactly what the custom changes are, because there'll be stuff that worked with also applies to other modes. Okay, what do we got here? The contract terminations, that's one of the things I was noticing. Teams will be, the AI is a little more aggressive now about mutually terminating contracts with the players' agreements, so there's no cap hit, no cap penalty. They'll do that to clear contract spaces, so the AI is a little bit better about keeping a few contract spaces open now, so it doesn't run into trouble in that aspect. And if I just scroll through, it's not a good time to do it now. It's the middle of the off season, but generally the AI stays away fairly far from the cap, so we don't get in a situation that can sometimes happen if the AI is managing the caps really closely, and there's very little cap space around the league. You'll see the teams doing all sorts of weird things to get under the cap if they need to, and that doesn't seem to be an issue at all in the later stages of games that we've been testing on. There we go, draft lottery, and are we even? Oh wait, let's see how the Jets have done. Ooh, whoops, sorry. Coming off a bad season, looks like. Had some good years. Only missed playoffs the last couple of years, so not so great recently. But are we in contention for a lottery pick? Yes, we are. So number 4 overall. Let's see if we go up.
Fingers crossed.
No changes yet. Bruins had a couple of first rounders, and oh, yeah, see, always happens. That's how you know the game's working. The Canucks drop.
Well, I mean, that's expected.
The Leafs are moving way up, apparently. And it was apparently at our expense because we dropped down from potentially the 4th to the 6th pick.
Oh, Leafs should be capped at what,
So,
second?
yeah, Dallas and Toronto appear to be moving up. Detroit, Calgary. Yep, that's what the Leafs. So that's probably the Leafs winning this if it wasn't for that rule. And Dallas
Yeah.
picks number one overall.
Well,
But I was just looking in the forum. Rick Flyers, who posts on our Twitch stream occasionally, was also one of our testers and was reporting that what was it happened in his game? The Islanders traded for a pick and they weren't. I think they had something like the third or fourth, seven best chances at the number one overall pick for 2026,
yeah.
and somehow they wound up with one and two.
Well, that's a very Kaneckian thing to type happen.
More of a New York Knicks NBA type thing to happen. Okay, so we've got a few trades before the deadline day. It's actually toned down a little bit from what it used to be, because I've cut down the amount of trading the AI does right before the draft, just to offset the amount that will happen in the that's actually going to go on in the live version of the draft, which we are about to do. It'll one thing when you're starting the rookie draft for the first time in a new game in FHM 12, it's doing some pre-simulation just to sort of get the
Set
rumor
things up.
engine started. So you can see down here there are the rumors, and it's now telling you which pick was active when the rumor was generated. So no picks have been done yet, so it'll show you 0 for that one. And then as soon as I go to the next one, and I'm looking for real guys here. I forget we're in 2040 and 2034.
You should just be looking by names, Jeff. Let's be honest.
Some guy named Adam here. They let a
Well,
guy
that's a
named
great.
Adam. They let a guy named Adam into Yale. Don't know about that.
Probably should have went to Harvard, but yeah.
And he takes the Prince George guy, Dallas. And okay, well, the rumor was the rumor was wrong. They were actually looking at Glasser, who is now apparently the Toronto favorite pick. You can tell that from the rumors on this side.
Now, is it just
Oh,
me,
he
or
goes
do
to
you
that.
kind of hope Glasser is just like an entire red body?
Let's see if he is.
Now,
Yeah,
to be clear, if you're
that's fairly red. That's a
if,
good farmer stat he's got going on there. It actually looks
now
like
to
it.
be
Yeah,
clear, yes, when I say red, that's what we're referring to is injury tendencies there.
yeah, that's
So
in that view. The darker the color, the more injury prone he is. So head and arms, but yeah, it's funny how that worked out. Looks like he's been out on the tractor all day. So you can see there the right now it's only giving us rumors on picks. I don't think no trade rumors yet, but we will see some. Probably see some as we move along. Actually, what I'm going to do here is hit pick until human, and we've got a countdown here. Whoops, that went faster than I expected. It flashed up there very quickly because we were relatively close. I'll show you that. I'll do it again, and after this pick, and you can see how it actually appears when you've got to wait a while. So let's see, Benedict Bauer from Germany, or Robin Järvinen, who's a Finnish guy playing in the queue. The German guy's also playing in the queue. Scouts say, scouts seem to like Bauer. So let's go with the 18-year-old German center, Benedict Bauer. Good hockey
great
name.
name. Yeah.
And see, I've hit OK there, so it's going to re-simulate everything from this point to generate the rumor engines. And now I'm going to hit pick until human. And this is what I was talking about. You see, you've got a progress bar now, and it's actually a little jumpy at the moment. It's not. It doesn't. It won't literally take like 20 minutes to get to 100% here. I think it actually usually makes it about 10%, and it suddenly takes a huge leap. But what we'll probably replace this with is just a manual updating of the screen every time there's a pick when you're doing pick until human. So you'll see the picks flashing up there fairly quickly, and then it'll interrupt you if you get a trade offer or anything along those lines. And yeah, it looks slow here, but it's I'm not sure why it's not going to 100, but it will, or at least if it has in every other test game I've done until now, it'll get up to, is it about 20%?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to make a liar out of me and it's actually going to go all the way to 100. No, there's no way. But yeah, this is just the game doing simulated drafts over and over again. We need to do those because that's what fuels all the rumors, but more importantly, the trades. See, there we go at 30%. It jumps suddenly. And do we have any? Okay, we've got a trade rumor. We've got a rumor involving trading. Vegas is willing to trade the 66th overall pick. There we got a trade. Calgary traded, or Calgary got Buffalo's second rounder for their third and fifth. So Calgary wanted to move up a bit there and got a higher pick. Anything else yet? Oh. And another 2 picks for 1. We got any for a player yet? Another multiple pick deal. Detroit gets Minnesota's number 1 from Toronto, and Toronto gets Winnipeg's number 2 from Detroit. Oh, is that why that took a while? Because we didn't have a number 2 pick. I didn't look.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, sorry.
And yeah, it's mostly pick for pick trades, but you will see eventually there will be player trades for picks as well. It's a little more common though for teams to be using picks to move up and down in the draft. They'll do things like I think I explained this last week. If they've got a player that they want and then they think he's going to be gone in the next couple of picks, they'll try to move up to get that. Or if there's somebody that they want that they figure they're safe waiting for, they will trade their pick down and get an extra pick out of it, or a player or something, in order to sort of maximize what they're getting. And seems the best guy,
which is something that's becoming more common all the time now.
Yeah. Best guy here seems to be the American defenseman named Gross. Scouts like him, although he's not really particularly safe or risky. We'll go with him. And again, it'll simulate, it's doing a quick simulation of the whole draft here to feel that so that system with the in-draft trades has a chance to see what potentially is coming ahead.
Oh, okay. Jeff, I found somebody who you need to draft.
Okay, well, I guess I will go pick into human. Tell me about him.
Click on just height and you should see him.
Oh, we got a giant guy?
It's the name. He just happens to be tall. He's not good whatsoever, but his name already makes me want to have him on the team. Melly Wrestling Geek says I have my alarm set for 5 a.m. Thanks. Hopefully the game is releasing on a day when I asked off from work.
Good timing. Just while we're doing this, I'm looking down my list of stuff that's changed. Anything draft related? There's some technical stuff for online leagues. Just some feedback on some screens. Fixed a couple of small bugs with the way the screen updated in multiplayer games.
It loaded, Jeff.
Say again? Yeah.
No,
okay,
sorry.
So I'll check for your McLiver.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's a half a star. I think he can wait. Although
I know. I said he wasn't good, but I said just, who wouldn't want a player named McLiver on their team?
That's the smallest guy we got here. 5'8". They're pretty tall this year. Oh, 6 foot. Okay, that guy needs to put on some weight. The European goalies, yeah, have some conditioning issues. 6 foot tall, 128 pounds. Okay,
He's
and
wiry, Jeff.
yeah,
Wiry.
well, just go with that guy. And I
Wait,
think
wait, Sinbin? There's Sinbin?
what? Where? Oh,
Espin.
Ben Wasim. Sharif Ben Wasim, who's actually Swedish. And does he have a nationality somewhere? No, just Sweden. Oh, what? Yeah, there was. We fixed a couple issues with national, like the extra nationalities that weren't quite generating right, or at least that's it was on the bug list. I got to check if that's actually fixed. And Big Deal Human again. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. I'm just trying to go through this list and see what I haven't talked about yet. That's
Biwag has shown up and says, "Go Wings." Good evening.
Pewog missed the whole Wings run in the last streaming game we did for 11. They got at least what one cup, and we're number one team in the league for a few years.
Yeah,
I think I showed the tactics loading last week, didn't I?
Yes, I believe so. I know we talked about it. I'm pretty sure. Although, Jeff, you and I have talked a lot about a bunch of different things, so I don't want to say it with 100% certainty.
I'll quickly show it when we're done this.
Smelly Wrestling Geek, have you guys decided who you're going to run with this year or how we're going to stream this year?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking maybe what if we take the Oilers when they first came into the NHL
Well, it could be a decent historical idea.
and just see if we can. I mean, they
We haven't really done a
had
Gretzky
a lot to
one.
build around. Yeah, we've never really done a Gretzky one. Just see what we can do and who we can make into a superstar by putting him on Gretzky's wing for a season.
Yeah, Pewog says, your late shift is killing me. Been getting up early, EST. Yeah, life things have happened that made us move to a later time that worked a little bit better. I'll be honest, for me, but I think is working okay for Jeff.
Yep.
Part of the reason why we stream too is so that it gets archived on our YouTube and on Twitch, so it's available for everyone. We know not everyone can tune in live all the time. We'll try and do some extra streams, especially around launch, but I do have several other big things to do, unfortunately, so it's going to be a little tight for a little bit anyways.
The just finished up the draft here, and you can see the rumors tail off towards the end of the draft just because how often do you see rumors about round 7? Oh, wait, no, sorry, I'm wrong. I'm looking at the... I thought it was done here. I am not. Grab that guy.
Thrashers would be cool. I mean, we did a Columbus Blue Jackets one a couple of years ago, Smelly Wrestling Geek, so that would be... Don't want to go too much into the same.
Okay, so that is done.
Hope you're doing well, Pewog.
And the entry draft review. Look at that. I was barely trying, and I got the best draft.
Perfect.
See, that's a key. The key. We don't pay attention, and it should all work out. Wow, the Sabres made some weird choices.
Saber's gonna saber.
Yeah, good luck with that, guys. And just actually, let me just run you through the last few drafts, and you can see if I switch it to potential level and just let's say go from 2027 8 now. You can see some of these guys are obviously real players like Glenn DuPont, but scrolling it down, and that's through the first round for the last few years, and you can see the number of players of various potentials that are being generated. We've been doing some work on the player generations. So if I go back to the previous season, you'll see if I go right down to the bottom end of the draft, we're still getting 2.5 to 1.5 star guys mixed in with some of the long shots. So the bottom end of the draft, just the overall talent level in draft, I think is in a pretty good place right now. So that's sort of where the draft goes after the real players start to get replaced in the early 2030s by the game-generated ones. So that's working out reasonably well, and I think we're still trying to figure out some issues with it's generating like borderline superstar level guys a little too often, so continuing to work on that. It's not quite done, but that's something that's not super noticeable unless you play like 100 years into the game. Tactics is what I was going to show. So if you didn't see that last time, if I
yeah, what wasn't training going to be here right away too?
yeah, you can see right there it's on tomorrow. It's got the player training program coming up. But I will just juggle a couple of things on the tactics screen like that. Change that, and if you didn't see it last time, I just hit save tactics now and call is set one. And I've now got set one in my tactics screen, so if I change a bunch of stuff here, and oh no, I want to go back to what I had before. Set one, boom, you're right back to it. And there's a manage tactics button on here too if you need to, if you collect too many and you want to delete some of those. And sorry, what was I say?
Leg TTAYM says too many goalies in the first round? Question mark. Only 5 goalies picked in the last 5 drafts.
One,
or
two,
only 5 in the last 5 drafts.
Yeah, we're going to see if that one's only got 2 in the first round. It'll vary a lot from year to year, really.
Yeah, it's something that's definitely we've been aware of and looked at.
And one of the things we did do, yeah, we there was a problem we found. It was with goalie development. It was leading too many good goalies in the. It was really noticeable in the college and junior leagues. So we did address that. So there's definitely fewer high-end goalies or quickly developing young goalies than there were in FHM 11. And there's the top prospects for next year's draft, and it's 3 defensemen, 2 left wings. Now, this is new. It's got we've actually got an event here that is going to send you to the training program screen. So the way this works is you're in the off season, and did we add we did. Add the little explanatory text that's new. You've got 0 out of 7 assigned here. So you can, for up to 7 players, you can pick a particular attribute, group of attributes, entire attribute class, and that is what they're going to focus on in the off season. So what we really want here is to point this at the young developing guys. We got our left wing named Holman. Let's say we want to make him a better shooting accuracy, and that's the specific attribute, shooting accuracy. And you can see the time it's going to take on here is that pop-up is showing up okay on Twitch, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
I think yep.
Yeah, I was going to sound insane and pointing to something that's not coming up. Okay, so I'm going to choose shooting accuracy, and that's going to focus him on that specific improving that specific attribute. And you can see the timing ranges on here. The more specific you get, the longer it's going to take and the higher risk it is. It's more likely that you won't get a positive result out of it, because obviously you've got to have some penalty. We can't just let you dump everything into one attribute and create a bunch of crazily imbalanced players that way. But he'll work on shooting accuracy. Now let's say Dietrich, the right winger. I want to do something a little more general with him. And you see I've got these groups here: shooting, playmaking, defensive tactics, etc., etc. Now what are these, you ask? Well, fire up the help engine by pressing F1, and you can see you've got a list of them right here describing what each one does. So let's say we want to work on his, defensive tactics. That's going to, the attributes it's going to focus on are defensive repositioning and shot blocking. So, which was here? Diedrich, yeah, okay. So that's a little broader spread. It can be, it's going to focus on those three attributes. It'll be a little faster to get through and a little more likely to succeed. Or if I want to go even more generally, let's say Latosky, the defenseman. We're just going to tell that's the basic groups that are available to him. Hang on. That is when you look at the rating screen, that is these groups: the offensive, defensive, physical, and mental. The one thing you can't do is tell him to focus on mental development or a specific mental attribute, just because it didn't seem to make sense to tell a guy to have a guy develop mentally in a specific direction in such a short period. So that's always going to be a more general thing. The most you can do with that is general improvement.
So if I want to start this on August 15th, because I forgot to do it earlier, should I do that?
Hang on, let me just add that there. And if you want to get a guy, actually, I'll answer that in a sec, but I had Latosky, if you want to take a guy out of the program, cancel button right up here. I was going to right click, but no, that's not how it works. If you want to start a guy, if you come to this a little later, you can always start at any time up to the end of the regular season. The problem is with starting it late is that countdown time. If you get to the end of his training and he hasn't finished it yet, and we'll see once we get started, I should probably find somebody that's maybe going to shortfall here. Throw some. That's where did he not? Oh, is he on? Oh, he's on Manitoba. Oh, the Manitoba guys aren't showing up here when I select them. Oh no, wait, that one did. Did I do that wrong?
Are they not contracted, maybe?
No, he should be if he's on our list. I'm not sure. I got to check on that. Why is he in Manitoba at 19 too? Unless he was a college guy. I got to check on that. That doesn't seem right. But he isn't either. If I'm selecting more than one, I think I broke something here. Right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just not updated properly when I was looking at it. You may have to go in and out to get that work to start. We'll take a look at that tomorrow. So there we go. We got 3 guys, and we got room for one more. Let's do one of the goalies. Markovsky. And you see the goaltending categories are different than the skater ones, and goalies do allow you to target mental training because that's sort of a separate. It uses the same name, but it's a different thing for goaltenders. Goaltending tacticness. Yeah, see there, it updated now. Yeah, weird. And the progress bar, it looks like everything they're all projected to meet it, because I think we're so early in the regular season. But what I would keep trying to get around to saying is, if you start it later and you don't have enough time to complete the program, he is still going to be checked at the end of the program to see whether or not his attribute improves. Only if he hasn't completed the program properly, there's a much bigger risk that something's going to go wrong and he's going to get no improvement or even have an attribute go down. So it's the farther you get into the off season, the riskier it is to start a guy on a new training program. But if you really want to optimize it, you can try to cram guys in and get them all done before you run out of time. So it's up to you if you want to risk starting guys late and potentially getting a few extra improvements in, but at the risk of something going wrong and having guys' development go backwards.
Hey, a couple questions from the chat.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue that.
Yeah. Papavus asked, was there any sim speed improvement?
Nothing specifically. I think what do we? I mean, there's always stuff that we're fixing in the background that may make it run a little bit faster, but nothing. I wouldn't expect to see any major improvements in how long it takes to sim through a season.
Yeah. P-Wog says, is there a skill for coaching? Example for Adam wants to coach the Leafs, will do it with a smile. No, P-Wog. I will not coach the Leafs with a smile.
Let's see. Just looking at my list here. Let me see if that. Oops.
That goes. Let me be clear. That would be for basically every Canadian team other than Winnipeg or Ottawa.
Yeah, I think it's Montreal. Do you?
I don't speak French fluently enough to have a happy French media.
Sorry, I'm trying to interrupt it here, and I keep missing the escape button. And we're also at the start of. I should have looked for free agents. Didn't even forgot we were right at the beginning of July.
Parlez-vous en français?
Yeah. So it's going to be a little slow through this period just because we were hitting the start of free agency here. I didn't even think of that when I set this up. Collective bargaining agreement changes. I don't think I got into that too much last time. Obviously,
we talked about there being 84 games.
Yeah, the schedule will go to 84 games. If you go back and look, you probably saw it on the history screens already. After the second season or after the first season, it will go to an 84 game NHL schedule, like back in the 90s. But the other CBA stuff, the ones that specifically made it into the game this year are the exemption on entry-level contracts for players who are over 24, the increase in the minimum salary, as well as the increase to the maximum entry-level contract value. And we actually just fixed a bug on entry-level contracts today that was giving guys, I think it goes back to FHM 11, some guys, a very small number of guys were, I think, like if a guy was really talented immediately, there was a loophole that was letting him get a one-way contract from the AI teams. But that is fixed now. The contract maximum lengths, that moved that down by a year, like the real change. The retained salary restriction, where you can only do that, you can only retain salary player on a player once if he hasn't been in another retained salary deal in the last 75 days. So you can't do that thing where the guys were sort of fictionally being traded around 3 times in a day, and each team retains a little bit of salary to get them down to a very low level for the eventual recipient. They've closed that loophole. The uniform rights for drafted players, that's a nice change. So if you're drafted at 18, your the team holds your rights for 4 years. If you're drafted 19 or older, the team holds your rights for 3 years. So no weird exemptions for college. No, what was it called? When they go to Europe, escape player. No.
Oh, like being loaned back, you mean, or what?
No. I forgot the term they used for it. But when a guy leaves for Europe, despite having an NHL contract offer, defected player. That's what they were calling it. That's gone. So it's all basically they've got your rights until you're 22, or assuming you were drafted at 20. But either 4 years or 3 years, so that's a little simpler for us to implement. The year-to-year salary can only vary by 20%, so you can't do crazy drops in salary. It used to be 25%. Wish they'd just make it straight, make the salary every year so teams couldn't play games with that. And the bigger one, the long-term injury exemption. You may have heard about this this year at the start of the season. Something like somebody like. No, I'm trying to think of a good example. Who's
Vegas? Or Carey Price?
No. Guys who are going to be
defensemen.
Guys who started on the injured list, but will be back before the end of the season.
Barkov.
Good one. The guys with a big contract like that, you're only allowed to get relief for the amount up to the league's average salary. Everything above that is going to count against the salary cap, unless the player is gone for the entire year. So in our terms, if the internal injury date on the player stretches past the end of the season. So, or I think we actually used July 1st just to be safe. In that case, you get a complete exemption for the player's salary if he's on long-term injured reserve, and eventually we'll probably do it as a proper season-ending long-term injury reserve, which is what I think the NHL is calling it. But right now, if you got a guy on a $5 million contract, say in the first season, and he's injured and the league average salary is $3.8 million, and he's going to come back, say at Christmas or whatever, for the time that he's gone, you're only going to get $3.8 million in cap hit relief, and that you'll have $1.2 million of dead cap. So that's a little more challenging to manage your cap space now, and less for certain teams who will remain nameless to exploit towards the end of the season. The one big thing we haven't been able to do yet is the whole playoff salary cap thing, which is a nightmare and seems to be shifting gradually as we get close to it being implemented. So we'll see where that winds up, and hopefully it's something that's maybe easier for us to do. But there you can see the trades that all happened during the live draft. So quite a few. I think the regular ones cut off here-ish, and this was all stuff that happened during the draft. So pretty big, fairly busy draft day. What else have I got here to show? I think I showed this last time, but staff rankings. You can see how your best GM in the league in 2034 is Don Sweeney. And actually not a lot of turnaround. Patrick Colvin's all the way up to 4th. So, actually a fairly low turnover. Oh no, some new names down there. And top coach, assistant coaches, scouts, even trainers, and an overall ranking for the team. So the Wings have the best staff. How are the Jets doing? Oh, that's right, yeah, because we're totally inexperienced.
You tanked it.
We're terrible. So yeah, that'll be a challenge getting your team off the bottom ranking for... I think that's heavily dependent on reputation too, and we've probably got no reputation at all at this point. That's that. Demographics, that was last year. Oh, alumni rankings doesn't really tell us much for the NHL. That's just showing us guys who were in the league and are out of it now. Mostly gone back to Europe, but it's more interesting if you're, say, an OHL team. And then you can see the best OHL graduates, all of whom looks like, pretty much all of whom are in the NHL. So Zane Parekh is at the top, Shane Wright, and so on. And, Jet Lutchenko's showing in green because he's our guy. Oh, one other one, let me see if I can... No, this isn't a good screen to show it on. I'll look at the AHL in a second. That should show it. And it gives you an overall ranking. So Flint has apparently been the best one recently at producing NHL players in the OHL. And Sarnia is down at the bottom. But if I go to the AHL, and what was I? There, if you see, look on that player pop up after the weight, you'll see NHL rights Minnesota. So obviously not quite as useful when you're looking at the Wild's minor league team, but if you're running to the OHL, looking at a team there and just running down the roster. And okay, of course I picked one without any. Oh, there we go. So one guy with his rights on the Islanders. So that's just a little easier for you to pick up on.
And something that came from an idea in
uh,
either a stream or one of our threads, if I
yeah,
remember
I think that was
correctly.
on the test forum that was suggested. Uh, let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, college hockey. And let's have a look at the college transfer portal, and you can see that's, I think I showed this last time, it's quite a bit busier than it was at the end of FHM 11. So you're going to see more players moving college teams from year to year. And I think I've definitely already mentioned the whole movement from the Canadian junior leagues. Let's look at the transaction log for Arizona State, and you can see a couple, or at least one guy here. Guy moving from Moose Jaw to Arizona State. And probably one of the bigger teams. I'm not seeing that much. Okay, yeah, there. Oil Kings to Bowling Green. Be quite a lot of variation, but you'll also see guys, obviously, like this happened this year, really high-end NHL prospects sometimes leaving the junior leagues early to go to college hockey. What else we got? Looking around, the Australian League changed their divisional format, so that's all single division now. So did England, the Elite League in the UK, that's all single division. If I look in the world screen, I can go to the Turkish League, and running low on players here. Oh, probably because it's the off season, the players haven't been moved up to them yet. But there are the teams in the Turkish Super League. The World Cup, we probably had a couple of those by now, I guess. Yeah, 2028 and 2032, both won by Canada. And you can see the extended leaders are working on those screens as well. And the next one will be in 2 years, 2036, Winter Olympics. Same thing, one win for Canada, one for the US, two for Canada. And the all-time leaders should be, Solani, Harlamov. That looks about right. And we're 2034, so where are the IHF? Yeah, Russia is back into world tournaments again. I'm assuming they get let back in at some point, as is Belarus. There was an issue that was, I think it was in 11-2, where when they returned, they weren't getting properly ranked, but you can see them after being back for a couple of years now, they've started moving up the world ranking. So Russia's up to 8th, and that'll probably continue to rise a little bit more. Name changes. You may remember that for some reason there was always the article in front of the United States, and same with the Netherlands, which was really annoying when you were trying to find the country name on a list. So we've taken those out, and the names for was the Czech Republic, Czechia now, and Turkey has, wherever they are, somewhere down there, they've got the proper, their current spelling of that now. So we've actually split the database, the nation's database, off from the OOTP one. That was basically a shared database for many years, but we've got our own one now, and we can do whatever we want with it. So I'm going to be doing some more stuff, interesting things with that. There's a whole bunch of, there's city data in Canada is a little lacking, particularly on the prairies. Got to update that, we'll change that. And I think what I really want to get working is some sort of regional system So players from Northern Ontario will tend to stay in Northern Ontario. I just have to identify what Northern Ontario is. What else we got? Couple of changes to the owner goals, particularly for college teams. We've made it a little more lenient on acquiring players, and they won't ask you to do things like bring back a former player, which is going to be next to impossible in college. So fix that up. You think anything, Adam?
No, I think we've covered a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm just going through the list here. So I will post this whole monster list. It's just a lot of the stuff is technical things that would be boring to get into right now. I showed, if you want to see the changes in historical mode, the big one is the World Championships being added back to 1929. That's all active now. I don't think I mentioned I added enough players to the World Database to fill out the national teams. So it's basically the rosters. Anybody that's ever played in a World Championship tournament is in our database now. So the team should have plenty of players to fill out their rosters. And the roster, it works a little differently than the other international tournaments in historical because it's dynamic, and it will choose basically the best teams in the world, or the best national teams in the world for each tournament. And I don't think I had that in last week, or did we? The stuff like the Canadian boycott years in the 60s and 70s, Canada won't be playing in it that year. I think there was one year where the Soviets boycott? I can't remember what that was. That was in the 70s. And then the last couple of years with Russia and Belarus being out, that's all implemented. The years where the tournament was skipped for obvious reasons, like World War II, there won't be a tournament in those years. But other than that, everything, the whole coming up on 100 years of World Championships is in. If I look at the player filter, see this is new. There's a salary filter. So if you want to, mainly if you're looking at the full length, full report, full list of guys in the league, if you want to cut it off by a certain salary level, or if you want an idea of who's making an amount that's puts them into the range that that will likely fit your budget, you can do that. Do we do anything else here? Can't remember. We remember we added that. Was it last year we added the filter saving, or was that 2 years ago?
Oh boy, I think it was last year, but I could be wrong.
So you can now save different types of filters and switch between them. If you haven't played FHM in a while, that's new. Just an under the hood thing. Teams that are in rebuilding mode, AI teams that are in rebuilding mode, will have a tougher. Well, no, it'll apply to human players too. But players will ask for a lot more money if they know your team is going to be rebuilding. It's not a huge amount more in something like the NHL, but in, say, European leagues, if the team is to the point where it's going to potentially get, say, relegated or be terrible for a few years, the players will ask for a lot more money. And so you'll be more likely to see guys leaving poor teams and heading to the richer and or more successful teams. Let's see. Did we? No, that was a bug that was fixed since last time. I don't think we saw that last time. Oh, if you're playing on a Mac and with the Retina displays, there was apparently, not sure if it was all of them, there was an issue with the display being blurry. We think we've got that fixed now.
Yeah, so, it was beta tested in 11 at the end, but yeah.
Yeah, that should be, if you're wondering whether or not you should buy and you're on a newer Mac, that should no longer be an issue. Made a few internal changes just so the waiver operation is a little closer. Adheres a little closer to the NHL model. And the other thing, yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. You can't really tell now, but the waiver exemption list will tell you when the guy is going to be it'll tell you if a guy isn't exempt for waivers yet. It'll tell you how long that exemption is going to last. So this one's got until 2037, 2036, and I think under some circumstances that'll change to a game total too, if that's the appropriate way to count it. If he's had too many games and he's about to lose his exemption that way, but that lets you know a little bit, lets you plan a little bit better in advance. Protected list. The staff, let me find. Probably look at another team where we didn't replace the whole management. But you can see the career stats have been extended quite a bit, and that's, well, part of that's the in-game stuff, but for Sweeney it goes back to when he was an assistant with the Bruins. And that should be there, I think, for most of the staff at the start of the game. Try. Actually, no, is Yzerman still running the wings? Shoot, no, Chris Lamoriello is, so. There's also, if Lamoriello had a career, there's a playing stats tab here. Now you can see that you'll be able to look at the players or the guys' staff if it's in the database and if it's connected properly. We're still working on getting all of that done, but that's new. And yeah, Lamoriello's time mostly as a scout with the Devils. And then, yeah, general manager of the Bridgeport Islanders, and eventually Wings general manager. Apparently, Yzerman got fired pretty early in this one. And we're running low on time here. What else have I got? A few odd circumstances, crashes have been fixed. There was an issue with if you noticed in long-term games, if you check the players in the editor, you would have seen a lot of them going over their assigned potential. That was it. It's supposed to be possible, but relatively rare. But it was happening way too often, so we've gotten that back to the right level now. Player generation by nationality has had some adjustment. I think Canada's a little too dominant. Let's just, out of curiosity, see how the world under 18s are going, which is a good indication of how much variety we're getting in the. Yeah, there we go. So Canada, Sweden, Finland, Canada, US, Canada, Switzerland, US, Canada. So quite a bit of variation in that. Canada's still doing pretty well, but not totally dominant, I think, like we'd seen in other years, seen in FHM 11, and probably a little better at the World Juniors, just because they get a bit of advantage because they've got the Canadian Hockey League teams developing players actively. So yeah, Canada, Sweden gets one there in the middle, but and the Czechs do right at the start too. So the U.S. has a 3-year run, Canada has a 3-year run, but decent variation in there. And then the Russians are starting to show up after they come back too. Okay, yeah, doesn't look too bad. Export, CSV export, I don't. We did add. Now I got to remember to put that on the list because I remember seeing that and I can't remember what it was that we added. We did make one change there, I think. The youth tournaments from last year is still there, so that's mainly there for scouting purposes. trying to think of what else there is.
I don't know. I think
Oh,
you've
it's
covered a
and
lot of.
just little behavior things like when major junior teams have overage players that they want to get rid of. They were sending them to the farm teams, but now they'll do the more realistic thing and just release them. And I'll post the whole list of this in the forum and maybe on Reddit too. It's 142 things at this point, but I've probably got a few more to add to those. I'll do that hopefully in the next couple of hours, so you'll see that later tonight, or if you want to look tomorrow morning, that'll be up there. Other than that, I think we're pretty much ready for launch. That'll be so everything. We've got all the Steam approvals and everything, so it's really just a matter of me pressing the button. That will go live at 5 a.m. tomorrow Pacific time, 8 Eastern, 2 o'clock Central Europe. I guess that's 1 in the UK. And so watch for it then. I'm not sure exactly what time the Fast Spring store will go up. It should be close to that, but actually, no, they asked me, so I think it may be exactly the same. But that'll be up. There'll be a newsletter going out tomorrow, I think, listing everything. If you haven't, did we put the link to the Steam page up yet?
Yeah, it's been up multiple times.
Yeah, okay, good. If you haven't yet, please go to that page and wish list it. It really helps our placement on the front page tomorrow if we've got a few extra wish lists, people with games on the wish list. It's been doing pretty well. I think we're a little ahead of where we were last year in terms of wish lists at this point, so I think we should get pretty good Steam front page placement the first day. We always do for the first few hours. It's just a matter of how long it holds on, and basically the more early sales you get on Steam, the more of a chance they give you on the front page, which leads to more sales, and it sort of snowballs. You just don't want to get knocked off there really early. And if you do get the game, please rate it on Steam. If that's that the early rating also makes a big difference. Anything else release rated I can think of? Oh, the manual. I think I need to do a little more work on that. I think it will be live when the game comes out tomorrow, but there's a chance it may not work right away. But I'll be making some. It'll be working at some point in the morning, I'm sure. But if you don't get a manual right away when you're clicking on that manual link on the front page, that's why. Just needs a couple of additional things done. But anyhow, even with the manual, but you've still got, this thing where you can open up the roster screen and get various information, and with all of the explanation of the images and whatnot.
You can wishlist it for Mac. Steam is it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Smelly Wrestling Geek, who's your pick? Dodgers or Jays for baseball, Jeff?
Mariners.
Well, then you're crying in the corner, I guess.
Yeah, I was. Well, maybe they'll move Tampa to Montreal and I'll have the Expos back. Steadfastly refusing to cheer for Toronto.
Vive la Expos.
Yep. And all right, I think that's right. Look,
how much will it cost in Canadian dollars? Link Mobeski asks.
In Canadian, I think it works out to Steam's it's $44.99 US. So I think that on Steam becomes 57 Canadian, if I'm remembering right.
Close to that, I think.
And I think we set the prices on Fast Spring. I think we were going to set those manually this year because otherwise Fast Spring tends to do odd things with the conversions, and you wind up paying far too much. So I think you'll get that $57-ish Canadian price, regardless of whether or not you go to Fast Spring or Steam. And same thing for I think euros and pounds, it's the same. And
now I would like to point out, just as Jeff mentions this, there's a 10% launch week discount.
Yeah, sorry, that's plus minus the discount, so it'll be what, 51 and change.
Yeah, it should be somewhere around there. I don't want to say the perfect amount, but yeah, it'll probably be hanging around $52 ish.
Yeah, so do that, and if you buy this week, you'll get it for that price. And
sorry, $52 Canadian.
And
let's be clear on.
Can I mention? Am I allowed to mention the OTP thing already?
No.
Okay, I'm not. Well, if let's say if you were interested in a bundle, you may want to look into that.
I mean, yes, yeah, we
Oh,
can say, yeah, there
okay,
will
yeah,
be the
there will be a
OTP bundle.
bundle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You may get a really good price on that, possibly, but I don't know that, and I'm definitely not making any comment on that. Uh, what else? Hey, look at that. Paulie Evers with the Canucks. Just not Pierre. Wow, big kid, 6'5", 236.
Mariners are the Leafs of baseball. Wow, you're calling Jeff Leafs fan.
No, I mean the Leafs have actually have won the cup at some point. The Mariners, on the other hand, uh, but I'm a lot closer to Seattle and Toronto, and they're a fun team to watch. Okay, I guess we can wrap it up there, Adam.
Yeah, with that. So thank you
Anything
very
to
much
adding? So,
for.
yep.
Can I do
Yeah.
the wrap up or not?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You said then you started talking, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
Mariners would love to have the Leafs history. Zang Four says, yeah, I'm not disagreeing on that. There's Zangberg. Talk about choke. Mariners didn't really choke; they just got beat at the end. But I digress. Thank you very much for tuning in and doing that Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments as well, with stream archives going live typically Saturdays at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European viewers, although this one might go up a little bit sooner. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. We're also on Bluesky as @franchise hockey, or Instagram, or Twitter, or just about any other social media threads. You can find us somewhere as Franchise Hockey or Franchise Hockey Manager. And of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to the official forums where you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff, I'll just say this, as we're wrapping up here. The FHM 12 forums, are they coming soon?
Probably later tonight. That's probably where I'll put this big list of changes as soon as I get the FHM 12 forum activated. And technically the stuff like the mods forum is always the same forum. I just move it into a different section of the website. So I think I'll get that all set up tonight, and we'll be all ready to go in the morning.
Perfect. So we look forward to having the game in everybody's hands, and we will see you all again very, very soon.